1,000 days today, Richie. 1,000 days today.
Today's a joyous occasion, and I live in the country now. I live in the wheat belt. I came down yesterday, first time I've been for months, and I was so pleased to see people still here. And I heard that today was the 1,000th day, and that is such an achievement. It's taken a lot of courage from a few people here who were given a hard time by the police and by people who should have known better. And as much as anything now, it's a social gathering. We gain strength from one another. I'm proud to be part of it, Richie. I'm really delighted. It's it's absolutely crucial that we wake up more and more of the general public, and until we reach that stage where we have the numbers and the people in all our institutions in power, in office, in power, finally realise that people know they are not wearing any clothes. The emperor is naked. That's the ultimate goal. We have to. We're in the third phase of the resistance to Australian fascism. The first phase was the big rallies, especially in Melbourne and Canberra. The second phase was the legal cases, including Ben Falconer here in Perth, and the longer-running protests, including this, and the marches through the city. In that time, we realised that our establishment institutions, all of them, not just the medical profession, not just the government, not just the mainstream media, but all of them, including the church, the universities, education departments, hospitals, were not going to change, and we are going to have to build new institutions. And one of our new institutions is the media, including our newspaper, The Light Australia. Another is AMPS, Australian Medical Professional Society, very important. People do not need doctors and hospitals to look after their health. They have alternatives. And there's another AFS, Australians for Science and Freedom, which Gigi Foster wrote about in our newspaper. And that's the future. We rebuild our society. There's no future with our existing institutions. They are totally corrupt, gutless, useless, and dangerous. And we're here just to remind people that human beings can stand up and have courage and have principles.
We still stand here because we just want to keep these low life, I think, is a decent thing to call them, and just keeping them honest and that sort of thing. Yeah, as I say, we've been here 1,000 days today, and I do believe we were instrumental in getting rid of McCoward, and we've just got to get rid of the Labor government as best we can.
It's been 1,000 days. You're still here.
1,000 days of consecutive protest outside Government House. Who would have guessed it, eh? We have two governors who both did nothing to put right the harm and the damage that McGowan government has done. That government is still sitting up there. All those MPs responsible for the COVID mandates, for the vaccines, for the lockdowns, they're all sitting up there hoping that they will never be investigated. Well, it's up to the next year, early March, there's going to be a state election. And the people of Western Australia should make sure that this never happens again, because our state premier, Roger Cook, has said that he will do the same thing again. And what do you think those MPs who rubber stamped everything he did, what do you think they're going to do? They're going to do exactly the same thing. So I say to the people of Western Australia, wake up, dump the Labour Party, dump the Liberals, because there is no difference. None of them stood up for us. So it's up to you, people. We can only do this for so long. It's up to you to make the changes that need to be made to give us our freedoms back. Thanks very much, Rich.
Hello, it's been 1,000 days.
1,000 days.
You're still here.
Still here. Yeah. Thanks to everybody who's here and Richie and our independent media in WA who helped to keep the focus on the good things that are happening around here. And I know there's people that think that we're wasting our time here, but I also know that there's a lot of people who really need this to come down and have someone to talk to. Everybody knows where we're going to be from 8 till 10 every single day of the week, and it has been like that for 1,000 days. So if that's you and you're looking for someone and you're just finding out about all of this, this is where we'll be. And I think if one person finds value in that, that's worth my time. So I will be here for you if that's what you need. And there's a lot of people who walk past all the time and say, why are you here? We had someone this morning, why are you here? And it's great conversation to start, and being here is really important in front of this building, because this is the person who's supposed to be telling the public what's going on through his actions, oversight of Parliament, and that's not happening. So we're here doing that job, and we need to be here in front of this building to do that. So thank you all very much for your support, 1,000 days, and take care. All the best.
I'm still standing here because of this tyrannical government, and we're not going to stop. Never. And we're never going to give up, never going to give in. We're going to keep going until we sort this mess out, and it'll all work out in the end. Just be positive, people. We win. Thank you.
All I want to say, Richie, is thanks to everyone for standing here today. They're brilliant people. They stand here for 2 hours every day of the week. They are real freedom fighters, and they want their freedoms. Our government, unfortunately, doesn't want us to have our freedoms. And Cook himself has said he doesn't want us to have our freedoms. He will introduce everything again that McGowan's government introduced, but then he was the health minister. Basically, all I want to say is thank you to everyone, especially you, Richie, because you are a man on the ground, and you've been brilliant. There's nothing else to say except please, please, please think very strongly about how you vote in the up-and-coming elections. Look around the world, see what's happened. They voted Labour into England. Look what's happening over there. Labour and Liberal, as far as I'm concerned, are the same backside. There's only one backside and two cheeks, and they are together. Please don't vote for them. Look around, see who is in the freedom people, who you can vote for. We can sort out the politics after we win. But please do vote. Don't destroy your vote. Vote. Do the right thing. And think about it. Don't just vote for red or blue, orange or pink. Pick the right people to vote for. The people that have stood up for us right through. Thank you, Richie.
Why am I standing here? We don't come every day, and like some people here, but for the last 1,000 days, people have been standing at this wall, and they're standing here for a reason. My husband and I are standing here because we have a business, and we didn't appreciate the fact that it was implied that we had to mandate contractors and people that we have working for us. It was wrong. And the people who are standing here and have stood here for all that time come from so many different walks of life, self-employed, government workers, employees, just so many, doctors, nurses, emergency services, manual labourers, mine workers. There were so many different people. And the reason is because what has happened has been wrong. And there's been no accountability, nothing. It's died off. Nobody has been held to account for the price that everybody had to pay for something that was so ridiculous. And so what's been happening now is that legislation in this state and across Australia has been passed on a regular basis that has been so bad. It is terrible. There's no checks and balances. And our governor, whoever it is, at the moment it's Mr. Dawson, he signs off on every piece of legislation. So everything that we read about now, it's actually being passed all the way through to him, who is our representative. That's why these people are standing here. That's why I stand here, is because I want to see justice happen. I want to actually see compensation for people who've been wronged. And even if, people say we don't have time to come, If you come for just 1 hour, 1 day a week, it makes a difference if you're standing here in support of what's going on and the people who are standing up and fighting. This next year, in the lead up to our election, really check out who the candidates are. Not so much the party, but who's the candidate who's going to represent you and your values and make a difference in our state and in our nation, because we're at a pivotal point, folks. If we don't do something, if enough people don't stand up and go no more, we are going to continue down this slippery slope. We appreciate people like Richie, who's on the other side, and he's got the camera, because they're out there telling the truth, which we don't read about in our mainstream media. On TV, it just doesn't happen. So we just take our hats off to these guys and thank you, everybody.